Are you struggling to put your bow together? In this video, we show you how to do it step by step. First off, you need the bow, the string, the rest and the nocking points. Carefully open the boxes so you can take out the bow and start assembling. Take out the bolts to make room for the limbs to slide in place. The lower limb is easily recognized by the marking on it, so you can put this in the bottom part of the riser. Make sure the bolts are nice and snug, but don't over tighten them. The tips of the limbs should be pointing forwards. This means that if you're holding the bow, they are pointing away from you. Next up, we're putting the string on. Every string has 2 loops, of which the bigger one should go on the top limb. After sliding the big loop onto the top limb, you can attach the smaller loop to the bottom limb. Make sure the string is correctly placed into the grooves of the limb. We recommend always to use a bowstringer when stringing your bow. One side has a loop, which is the top side, and the bottom side just has a pocket. The bottom part of the stringer goes onto the bottom limb, and the top part goes over the top limb. Place your foot onto the stringer, pull your bow upwards to put tension on the limbs, and then carefully slide the string over the limb, making sure the string is straight and secure into the grooves of the limb. After stringing the bow, it's time to place your arrow rest. We like to clean the surface of the riser with some cleaning alcohol. This makes the arrow rest stick even better to the bow. After that, you can peel off the protective layer to place the arrow rest on the bow. While doing this, keep in mind that you want to align the hole of the arrow rest with the hole in the bow. This doesn't only ensure that you put it in the right place, but also makes it possible to use a plunger button in the future. You're now ready to place the nocking points. In the shop we use a bow square, but you can use an arrow as a reference point as well. You want to knock the arrow on the string and slide it up ever so slightly, so the point of the arrow is pointing down a little bit. Then take one of your nocking points and grab it carefully with a set of pliers. We are first demonstrating with a pair of household pliers and then show you a more effective way with the second nocking point. Carefully pinch the nocking point onto the string and be careful not to slip, as you can damage the string with the metal pliers. Before closing it completely, move it to the desired location now you still can. Now that it's in the correct location, you can take off the arrow and close the nocking point up with your pair of pliers. By turning it and pinching it in different locations, you can get it nice and round as a nocking point should be. We're now putting the arrow back on the string so we have a reference for the second nocking point. For the second nocking point, we will be using a specific pair of nocking point pliers. These pliers have rounded jaws which make the job a lot easier. After placing the nocking point into the jaws of the pliers, we are repeating the steps of the first nocking point. We pinch it onto the string, move it to the correct location, take off the arrow and then close it properly. This was the last step of putting together your bow, which means there is only one thing left, and that is shooting it. We hope this video was a good help for you to put together your bow, and if you have any other questions you can always contact us through our website.